It starts small, a message left unread, a shift in her tone, a delay that wasn't there before. She laughs less, texts shorter. And deep inside, you feel it. Something's pulling away. Carl Jung once said, the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. But when there is no reaction, no spark, it isn't transformation that occurs. It's retreat, recoil, a silent psychological disconnect. You try harder. You mirror what you've seen in videos. You wait longer, reply slower, speak softer, even try the silence tactic, hoping she notices, hoping it works, and still nothing changes. She's not ignoring you because she's cold. She's not distant because you failed. She's not quiet because you made a mistake. She's just not interested. And interest, that's the one word nobody taught you about. Not love, not effort, uh, not being a good guy. Interest is the invisible current. It's what makes her stalk his Instagram. It's what makes her chase a man she's never even spoken to. It's what makes her tell her friends there's just something about him. It's not random, it's not luck, and it's definitely not fair. But here's what no one told you. Interest can be built. It's not about changing yourself. It's about understanding how she's wired and how to become what pulls her in without asking. Jung believed that the psyche longs for wholeness. And we are most drawn to those who mirror the parts of ourselves we've disowned. That means when you unknowingly represent her hidden potential, her unspoken craving, her unlived archetype, she doesn't just notice you, she becomes magnetized by you. So, what is interest psychologically? Interest is tension plus mystery. It's not comfort, it's curiosity. It's not clarity, it's the emotional open loop that the brain needs to resolve. It's desire without resolution, power without pressure, presence without pursuit. In simple terms, it's the incomplete story in her mind and the man she keeps trying to figure out. Jung called this the anima projection. So when a woman projects her ideal fantasy, her inner image of the masculine onto a man who stirs something unconscious in her, he becomes a puzzle. And the unconscious craves completion, not through answers, through experience. In this video, I'll show you how to build that kind of interest from nothing. You'll learn the exact triggers that make her pay attention, even if she was ignoring you for days. But more than that, you'll learn how to shift the entire power dynamic of your life just by mastering this one concept. Because once you understand how interest works, you won't just get her attention. You'll understand how to pull energy from women, from rooms, from the world. You'll stop chasing. You'll start becoming. This is Carl Jung, and here at the Mind Archetypes, the quality of your relationships, the quality of your life. We don't just teach love, we teach emotional strategy. We teach power through presence. We teach men how to stop bleeding energy and start becoming the gravitational pull. So if she's ignoring you now, this video will change that. But if you truly listen, this video won't just change her mind, it will change your life. Let's begin. The psychology of interest, what she's crazy about and how you use it. Let's make something clear. Interest isn't about being hot. It's not about being rich. It's not about having a perfect jawline or six-figure lifestyle. It's about energy. Specifically, the kind of energy that aligns with what she already praises, what she already romanticizes, what she already gives her attention to, without even realizing it. Jung would say we are not attracted to others randomly. We are drawn to symbols, archetypes. Emotional resonance with the parts of ourselves we long to awaken. You aren't trying to be her type, you're activating her archetype. Because here's the truth, every woman is already obsessed with something, a feeling, a fantasy, a version of herself she's not yet living. And the men she gives attention to, even if they don't deserve it, aren't random. They simply mirror what she craves most. This is what Jung called projection of the unconscious. She projects desire onto the man who carries the energy of her inner yearning. She's not seeing you clearly. She's seeing herself through you. Some women chase power, not the man, the aura, the feeling of being close to something magnetic, dominant, unshakable. Some women chase ambition. They don't care about your Rolex. They care about the way you talk about your future like it already exists. Some women chase mystery, not games, real, grounded silence. The kind of silence that says, you don't get access to me just because you smiled at me. You're out here thinking you have to be everything, but in reality, you just have to become her obsession on accident. You don't do that by performing, you do that by noticing, by watching what she praises, what she posts, what she gasps at, what she reposts without even realizing it. Look closer. If she idolizes men who look untouchable, don't become arrogant, become focused. If she shares poetry about men who understand her soul, don't spill your heart in the first message. Start asking better questions, questions that challenge her identity, not stroke her ego, because she's already obsessed with something. Your job becomes the emotional shape of that thing. You don't have to fake it, you don't have to flex, but you do need to understand this. A woman doesn't fall in love with you. She falls in love with how she sees herself around you. And if you accidentally become the mirror of her desires, you don't have to chase, she'll chase the reflection. It's not about being better, it's about being aligned with what she already romanticizes. So stop trying to change her mind. Start learning her obsession. Because once you reflect it, you don't get her attention, you get her desire. Interest isn't attraction, it's a psychological loop. She can't escape. And that's why being liked isn't enough. Think she likes you? Good. Now ask yourself, is she interested in you? There's a difference, a massive one. Attraction is instant. Interest is ongoing. Attraction fades, interest lingers. Attraction says, he's cute, I'd go out with him. I feel good when he texts me. But interest says, I can't stop thinking about him. There's something about him I can't place. Eh, eh, he's in my dreams, and uh, uh, I don't even know why. Jung taught us that what is unresolved within becomes our fate. And when you become the representation of something she hasn't resolved, you don't just get attention, you become a fixation. But interest says, why hasn't he replied? Who is he with? What's going on inside his head? Interest creates questions, and questions create attachment. Not the healthy, mature kind, but the primal, psychological kind. Here's how the loop works. You enter her mind, but don't give her all the answers. You say enough to make her curious. You show enough to make her wonder, but you never complete the story. Carl Jung understood this, magnetic tension. He wrote that the psyche seeks completion. And in that gap between what is known and unknown, the unconscious becomes obsessed. It's not the man she wants to understand. It's the part of herself he awakens. And this is called the Zeigarnik effect. a psychological phenomenon where people remember incomplete tasks better than completed ones. You think this doesn't apply to dating? It's the entire foundation of romantic obsession. She doesn't keep thinking about you because you were perfect. She keeps thinking about you because something didn't close. You showed presence and then disappeared. You sparked intimacy and left her with mystery. You gave a taste, but not the whole feast. Now her mind is stuck, looping. Text too much, reveal too fast, try to secure the win. But what's secure isn't interesting. What's certain doesn't loop. And what's soul is forgotten. That's why the man who is nice, available, consistent, often ends up as the friend, and the one who leaves space, mystery, and tension ends up in her mind at 2 a.m. Here's the truth. Attraction gets her attention, but interest owns her thoughts. And once you understand that, you stop trying to be impressive, you start becoming unresolved. Not confusing, not toxic, just rare, silent, slightly out of reach, like a movie that didn't fully explain the ending and leaves her thinking about it for days. So if she is not chasing, she doesn't need more effort. She needs more questions. And you need to become the story she's still trying to figure out. You don't chase her. You mirror what she's already chasing. This is how you flip the game without playing one. Let me tell you something no dating coach will say out loud. You just haven't been paying attention. Look at what she praises. Look at who she follows. Look at what makes her eyes widen when she talks. It's not random. It's not noise. It's a blueprint. One woman is drawn to intensity, another to mystery. One craves dominance, another safety in danger. One wants stillness, while the other wants speed. They are not chasing you. They are chasing a feeling, a familiar chaos, a nostalgic thrill, an identity upgrade, a way to feel more like herself around someone who doesn't beg her to. Jung said, we meet ourselves time and again in 1,000 disguises on the path of life. When you embody what she secretly chases, you become one of those disguises, a reflection of her inner world. And here's a hard truth. She doesn't even know why she likes him, but her body reacts before her logic does. That's not love. That's pattern recognition. So what do most men do? They chase. They push their way into her world. They try to earn her attention with effort. And the more effort they give, the less she feels. Why? Because you're offering emotions she never asked for. You're giving what you think she should want instead of reflecting what she's already addicted to. What if, instead of chasing, you just mirrored what she's chasing? Not copied it, mirrored it, energetically, subtly, powerfully. She praises ambition, then don't talk about your goals. Disappear into them. She likes men who are emotionally grounded, then don't tell her you're stable. Be unshakable when she tests you. She's drawn to chaos and emotional fire, then don't try to tame her. Be the wild calm she didn't know existed. And here's the twist. You don't do this for her. You do it to remember who the hell you are, because you can't mirror her obsession until you've discovered what you actually embody. Here's the truth. When you chase, you're invisible. When you align, even slightly, with what she chases, you become magnetic. Not because you begged, but because her subconscious saw in you what it had already been looking for. Jung believed we are compelled by what is unresolved within us. When you reflect her unresolved desire, you don't compete, you complete the myth she's unconsciously chasing. Stop chasing women, start mirroring desire. Because when she sees her deepest obsession reflected in you, she won't just notice. huh, she won't be able to walk away. If you understand her fantasy, you control her attention, because love isn't about reality, it's about a movie playing in her mind. Do you really think she's ignoring you because of something you did? Do you think one late text, one awkward silence, one too soft compliment is what broke the connection? That's not why she drifted. She didn't walk away because of you. She walked away because of the story she's telling herself, and you stopped fitting in it. Every woman is living in a fantasy, a private internal film where she is the heroine, where something electric happens, where a man doesn't just show up, he changes the way she feels about herself. And in that fantasy, it's not about what car he drives, it's not about how tall he is about how she feels when he walks into the room. Excited, nervous, seen, challenged, unresolved. That fantasy has nothing to do with logic. It's sensory. It's subconscious. It's built from childhood patterns, TikTok edits, failed lovers, poetry, betrayal, music, and half forgotten memories. Jung called this the complex emotional imprints stored in the unconscious, waiting to be activated. When a man triggers her inner complex, not through manipulation, but resonance, he becomes unforgettable. And that's why most men lose her attention, not because they're not enough, but because they never took the time to learn the movie she's watching. Hmm. Here's the truth. She doesn't want reality. She wants a reality that feels like the fantasy in her nervous system. And the man who creates that feeling not talks about it, not fakes it, but embodies it. Because when a woman is hooked on a man, she's not hooked on him. She's hooked on who she gets to be in his presence. So what do? You study the fantasy, you observe her language, you learn what excites her, what scares her, what lights her up. You don't copy it. You don't become a character. You become the frame she's been looking to place her story inside of. That's power. That's interest. And that's the shift most men never make. Esther Perel didn't say it. I did. Because this is not about technique. This is about transformation, about becoming the psychological space in which her fantasy unfolds. In every woman lives a tension, the same tension that lives in every human soul. The tension between security and mystery. One part of her wants to be held, understood, and protected. The other wants to be undone, to lose control in the presence of something she can't fully explain. I saw it in dreams, in relationships, in the unconscious symbols of every patient I studied. The woman longs not for perfection, but for paradox, to feel safe in danger, to feel seen in mystery, to feel known by something forever unknown, by something forever unknown, by something forever unknown, by something forever unknown. And when you embody that paradox, you don't just get her attention, you hold it. You become what I call the animus projection, the unconscious masculine image that stirs her deepest desire. It's not you she's obsessed with. It's what you represent. Possibility, unresolved potential. A myth still unfolding. Interest, you see, is not a performance. It is a field, a tension you enter and hold with silence, with direction, with presence. Uh, and when you become that psychological vessel, she doesn't just see you, she sees herself through you. A version of herself more alive, more desired, more expressive, the self she secretly waited to awaken. Understand this, and you'll stop chasing validation. You'll stop explaining your worth, because the moment you align with her unconscious fantasy, She casts you. You are now the lead in the inner romance, playing in her nervous system, and her logic will never win against the drama of that emotional film. So, no, you don't have to convince her. You don't have to prove anything, because interest is not earned through effort. It is born through archetypal alignment. Become the story, become the myth, and you'll never need to chase again